Wendell Hanes is a composer. He writes music for film and television, and he has an audio business called Volition Sound. He's making a good living out of his music. I asked him if he always knew this is how it would be.
It was not what I planned, but it was exactly what I wanted to do.
How does that work out?
Sometimes you just, you've ever been driving and you get lost, and then all of a sudden you find this new area and you're just like, oh wow, this is great. I never knew about this place. And you're just like, hey, this is a great place to be, And once you find that particular moment, you just run with it. I mean, I always wanted to be in music. I mean, in high school, I played trumpet all my life, but in high school I used to tell friends, oh, I want to be a music producer, I want to be Quincy Jones. But I didn't know the steps to actually do it. And I was not going to college for music. I was not thinking, oh, I'm going to get into music. I just happened to have an unlucky day one day when I got into a car accident. And when I got into this car accident, it was severe, so I had plastic surgery on my face. I was inside for an entire summer, and I couldn't do anything. And my parents bought me a keyboard. Now, they bought me a keyboard after a friend had lent me their keyboard for 2 weeks. So a friend lent me their keyboard for 2 weeks. I was on it all the time. My parents saw how much I was into it. When the guy took the keyboard back, my parents said, hey, let's replace this. So I spent the whole summer on the keyboard. And that's how I realized that, oh, this is what I really like doing, which in turn cycled into me being at Brown, spending my time in the studio instead of going to all the parties and messing with that. And that's how I found my passion. So I always knew I had music in the back pocket, but I didn't know how to make it a legitimate career. I was working in Boston as a research assistant. And I found out somehow that Spike Lee was doing some seminars or some lectures at Long Island University, and I thought I would just go down there and volunteer, just to kind of be in the environment. That's what I did. I came down every weekend on a bus from Boston to New York City to stack chairs for Spike. And that's how I got involved. And when I volunteered, I met an editor for Spike Lee, just on a whim, again, everything is a happenstance, lucky. And I ran into an editor for Spike Lee who was from the same hometown I was from, Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And we started talking, and one thing led to another, and he said, hey, we have a position, and maybe you should interview for it. And so just my relationship with that person, his name is Leander Sales, was very pivotal. And from that point on, I was able to kind of get inside of Spike's camp. So once I figured that out and understood, oh wow, there's this great new career called composing. This great new career that involves a picture and creating sound for picture. And wow, now there's an immediacy to commercials, and there's an immediacy to movies that says, hey, we need this by this time. Mm-hmm. Now you have boundaries, now you have a timetable, which helps to create this whole mode of efficiency, where with records, you might be at home making beats, but since no one's actually asking for you to have this delivered by a certain time, you look outside every day and you're inside all day long. And every day you realize 2 weeks have passed, you've never gone outside. 3 weeks have passed, you've never gone outside. 3 months have gone by, you have never sold a piece of music. You have not created a career out of sitting in your home making beats or making music that no one even knows about. When people start to critique what you do, you start to take it more seriously. You start to really listen. And I think if you're not the type of person that's open to hearing what other people think, at least especially early on in your career, then I think you're kind of cutting off yourself and limiting yourself in terms of growth. Personal relationships mean everything. The stronger your personal relationships with people are, the better your business is going to be. Because there are people who I can tell you right now are better than me. I don't know necessarily, I can't name them, but I know they're out there. There's many people better. There's people better than a lot of the top people. But number one, if people don't know you, that's a problem. Number two, if people don't like you, that's an even bigger problem. So you have to know people, and you have to like people, and they have to like you in order for you to maintain your business. There's a couple things that you have to take into consideration. They are coming into your piece of music and they're putting their own interpretation into it as well. So you have to understand what they're trying to articulate. And music is not the easiest thing to articulate. So when someone says it needs to be happier or it needs to be more uplifting and more inspiring, well, for me that might mean adding strings and adding brighter piano. For them that might mean a better drum beat. a drum beat that's more active, you know. And with music, there's so many different elements that you have to be in control of. You have to be the one at the end of the day that says, okay, I'm taking all your opinions in, I'm internalizing them, and now I'm repolishing this piece in a way that still suits me first, but also feels like I'm taking what you're saying into consideration. Because the number one thing I've always gone by, in my opinion, and this is what I think people should follow as well, is if you impress yourself first, then you'll impress others.